Sheryl Swoopes, she can't not try to light a fire involving Caitlin Clark. She can't just be good. She's trolling Caitlin Clark again, this time by celebrating the arrival of Paige Bueckers.
With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it in, right?
She did it again. Just when you thought the drama had cooled down, Sheryl Swoopes found yet another way to take a jab at Caitlin Clark.
Wake up and be mad. Never forget, in Swoopes' MVP season, she averaged less points, assists, and rebounds than Caitlin Clark's rookie season. Caitlin Clark's rookie year was quite a bit better than Sheryl Swoopes' MVP season.
And this time, she didn't even have to say a word. Wearing a Paige Bueckers t-shirt on a podcast, Swoopes reignited the feud with a smug grin and a silent message that spoke volumes. I support Rising Star, just not you, Caitlin.
Because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
But make no mistake, this wasn't about Paige. This was a calculated, petty move in a long line of underhanded attacks meant to discredit the one woman who's transforming the WNBA overnight.
They will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Caitlin Clark has shattered records, broken barriers, and brought millions of new eyes to a league that desperately needed a spark.
While Caitlin is fantastic, and I think she's going to have an incredible career in the WNBA.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark.
What is she doing wrong? What more do you want from Caitlin Clark? Seriously, what more do you want from her? She's focusing on the game. She lifted her team up, got them to the playoffs, won Rookie of the Year, and then also is denouncing racial tensions when she's asked about it. I'm sorry, I don't see anything more that Caitlin Clark should have done or could have done.
But instead of applause from some of the legends, she's met with resentment. And no one has embodied that bitterness more than Sheryl Swoopes.
Hey, what are you doing? Look at this. Just stays mad. Were y'all talking about Caitlin Clark at this very moment? She knows what she's doing.
From questioning Clark's stats to backhanded commentary, and now this latest stunt, it's not just criticism, it's obsession.
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth.
In this video, we're exposing the truth behind Swoopes' latest move, why it's more than just shade, and how Caitlin Clark continues to rise despite every effort to drag her down.
She was remarkable on top of the fact that she had to deal with so much hate when she got to the WNBA.
Buckle up. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is personal. When Sheryl Swoopes showed up in a Paige Bueckers t-shirt, it wasn't just a fashion choice. It was a tactical strike.
Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what she was given.
So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now.
A silent jab. A petty move dressed up as support, and if you've been following the story, it fits a very clear pattern. Swoopes has been trying to tear Caitlin Clark down since day one. This didn't start with the shirt. It started long before Clark even entered the WNBA. Swoopes has consistently tried to delegitimize Clark's greatness.
Right, and that's what a lot of these women are doing, is they feel like what we have done for this game, this young player has come into our game, and she's getting way more respect and all that stuff than we are. As she should. The young girl is a baller. The young girl has people watching because of the way she can shoot this basketball like Steph Curry. Steph Curry can't dunk. Steph Curry don't do none of that in the game. He can probably dunk by himself, but he don't really do none of that in the game. He is a shooter, and fans tune in to see Steph Curry.
She's gone out of her way to question Clark's stats, calling her records illegitimate just because she played 5 years in college. She claimed that breaking records only matters if it's done in the same time frame. completely ignoring context, performance, or the actual impact Clark has made. She dismissed her shooting, her hustle, her leadership, and when that didn't work, she tried something new: silence her by omission. Let's not forget, Swoopes was pulled from the Dallas Wings commentary team for letting her anti-Clark bias shine through live on air. And even Stephen A. Smith had to step in and call her out.
We saw her get replaced during the Fever game for the Dallas Wings commentary team last year because of words and the hate she had towards Caitlin Clark. And it was just one thing after another. I said yesterday, even Stephen A. Smith crushed her last year.
Warning that this kind of gatekeeping doesn't elevate the league. It buries it. But Swoopes didn't learn. She just doubled down. From NCAA tournament critiques to bitter sound bites during WNBA coverage, it's been a nonstop campaign to discredit Clark.
The only problem with this is, and this has been the problem the whole time with the Paige-Caitlin comparison, Paige is an activist basketball player just like these old WNBA players that's been in the league. All right, they're shilling she's all up in all the social stuff. And so that's why they're letting her in. That's why they're cool with her.
What's really disturbing isn't just the criticism, it's the consistency. It's the tone. It's the desperation. Because this isn't the normal vet vs. rookie friction. This is personal. Every time Caitlin Clark succeeds, it shakes Swoopes' identity.
Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game.
Every sold-out crowd, every jersey sale, every highlight reel is a reminder that the league has moved forward, and it didn't need permission from the old guard to do it. And what's worse, Swoopes doesn't even try to hide it anymore. Instead of mentoring the next generation or celebrating the rise of a new star, she plays these passive-aggressive games. She doesn't want to pass the torch. She wants to snuff it out. But fans aren't stupid. They see the bitterness, they see the jealousy, and they're not falling for the act. Caitlin Clark has done nothing but uplift the game, break barriers, and prove her worth through action, not drama. Meanwhile, Swoopes has built a brand around bitterness, and the more she lashes out, the clearer it becomes. This isn't about—
If I was the WNBA, I would have considered a separate television package to a network on just Caitlin Clark games. I would have had 2 packages, the WNBA package, and then a separate, let's say 15 to 18 game Caitlin Clark package.
They enjoy watching her play, her style, her energy, her shot. Whether it's because her game mirrors one of the greatest players in the NBA in Steph Curry or not, I don't know what it is. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. She has it. She's got the thing.
And for Caitlin Clark to have the awareness to drive the eyeballs there, you have to give her so much credit.
The truth is, Sheryl Swoopes and others aren't just attacking Caitlin Clark out of nowhere. They're lashing out because Caitlin represents a new era. An era where talent, not politics, drives the conversation. And that makes her a threat. Not just to old reputations, but to a power structure that's been in place for decades. Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark didn't walk into the WNBA with a silver spoon in her hand. She didn't get handed endorsements, fanfare, or instant love. She earned it. Every statistic, every triple-double, every record broken. She came into this league and immediately raised the standard, not just for rookies, but for everybody. Let's talk numbers. Caitlin's rookie season wasn't just good, it was historic. She didn't ease in. She exploded onto the scene. She became the first rookie in WNBA history to record multiple triple-doubles. She broke records for the most assists by a rookie, the most three-pointers in a season by a rookie, and had more points, rebounds, and assists than Sheryl Swoopes ever did in her MVP year. And no, that's not shade, it's reality.
There's so many players who cite you as an inspiration for their games, including Caitlin Clark, who's just absolutely a phenomenon in college. What's that next step like for her?
You know, next steps, gosh, in this generation, right? You have, I think, just so many more challenges of how to handle yourself as an adult, right? You go through that whirlwind of being a senior in college, transitioning into the W. And then the next step is how to become just an even better leader. And so much of leadership, I think, is listening and learning. And hopefully the more she can get connected to vets in the league and just different people and coaches and anyone that she can glean wisdom from of how to just continue to learn how to be as a connected and inspiring leader as she can be. And a lot of that is walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So she's already on her way, but, continuing to have fun, continuing to anticipate how people are going to try to stop her and being prepared as she can be for next season.
Numbers don't lie. Caitlin brought with her something the league hadn't seen in years: mainstream attention. People who never cared about women's basketball are now tuning in. Viewership skyrocketed. Ticket sales soared. Her jersey flew off the shelves. The Indiana Fever, once an afterthought, are now the most talked about team in the league. ESPN, Bleacher Report, every major sports outlet, suddenly they couldn't get enough. And all of it traced back to one name: Caitlin Clark. But here's where the problem lies. That kind of meteoric rise doesn't sit well with everyone, especially not those who fought for scraps when the league was still growing. Swoopes and others came up in an era where women's basketball was begging for attention. Now here comes Caitlin, young, white, from Iowa, politically quiet, and she's instantly beloved. That burns, it stings. It feels like someone skipped the line. And instead of embracing the moment, Swoopes and her circle chose resentment. The irony? Caitlin respects those who came before her. She's acknowledged Swoopes as a legend. She's never said a negative word about her, never disrespected her place in history. And yet, the moment Clark started to shine, the attacks started rolling in. Why? Because Clark didn't fit the mold. She didn't play the game the way the old guard wanted her to. She didn't say all the right things. She wasn't trying to become a political figure. She was just trying to play basketball and dominate.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.
That's what makes her so dangerous. Because Caitlin Clark's success isn't built on media hype or marketing spin. It's built on performance, on statistics, on leadership, on wins. And that terrifies people who spent years telling us that women's basketball needed more exposure, until someone finally brought it, but not the way they wanted. And we can't ignore how the media plays into this. The moment Caitlin started breaking records, the narrative shifted. Suddenly she was cocky, overhyped, problematic.
What happened is Caitlin Clark in her sophomore year and really in her junior year just started excelling and doing things that nobody had ever seen a female basketball player do. Like nobody had consistently been shooting these from the logo passes.
Meanwhile, other rookies could throw shade, make excuses, miss layups, or push players around, and barely face scrutiny. There's a double standard here, and everyone sees it. The league's golden girl was supposed to look and sound a certain way. Caitlin Clark doesn't play by those rules. She lets her game do the talking. Even when she was asked about racial tensions, she didn't take the bait. She answered with class, with focus, and with a clear message. I'm here to hoop. I'm here to win. That's it. And yet that answer wasn't enough for some people, because they didn't want a great player. They wanted a mouthpiece, someone they could control, someone who would fit in. But Caitlin didn't come to fit in. She came to take over. She came to lead a movement. And that's exactly what she's done. When you have little girls crying in the stands because they got Caitlin's autograph, when you have fans flying across the country just to watch her shoot from the logo, when you've got record-breaking all-star votes, over 700,000 votes for a rookie, it becomes painfully obvious. This isn't just a player, it's a phenomenon. And that's what burns the most for people like Swoopes. Because Caitlin Clark has done in one season what others couldn't do in an entire career. She made everybody care. She made the casual fans care. She made sports talk shows talk. She made dads and daughters go to games together. She lit a fire under a league that was flickering, and now it's blazing. So no, this isn't just jealousy, it's fear. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of being replaced. Fear that a new generation has arrived, and it doesn't need your permission to shine.
I remember when the WNBA started. I was thrilled. I was a fan. I couldn't believe it was an opportunity for me, a 5'2", 97-pound girl, to go play professional basketball. That wasn't going to happen for me, but the idea that it existed was special to me. And now she's offering that to not just little girls, but little boys as well. She's spread the fan base. So
she won Rookie of the Month 4 times, Eastern Conference Player of the Week 3 times, single season rookie record for assists, single season rookie record for 3-pointers, single game record for assists 19, franchise record for most double-doubles, 3-pointers, career 10 or more assists in a game, franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game. Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 3-pointers. She did it in 34 games, most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever, 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league. People will say, pay more attention to the other folks. Like, she couldn't do it herself. You know, LeBron has teammates, Jordan had teammates. I understand.
If there was ever any doubt that Sheryl Swoopes' attacks on Caitlin Clark were personal, her latest move should erase all of it. Wearing a Paige Bueckers t-shirt on a high-profile podcast wasn't just a nod to another talented player. It was a billboard-sized middle finger aimed straight at Clark. Let's be crystal clear. Paige Bueckers is a phenomenal athlete. No one's denying her skill, her poise, or her potential to succeed at the highest level. But when Sheryl Swoopes suddenly positions herself as Paige's #1 fan after a year of attacking Caitlin, you have to ask, what's really going on here? This isn't about uplifting another player. It's about undermining Clark without saying her name. It's about playing optics. Swoopes is sending a coded message. See? I don't hate white players. I support Paige. Just not that white player from Iowa. It's a classic bait and switch. She wants to throw shade at Clark while hiding behind the guise of support for another white athlete to avoid backlash. But fans saw through it immediately. And they should, because it's the same old playbook. If you can't criticize a player directly without looking bitter, then prop up someone else and use them as a shield. This tactic isn't just weak, it's manipulative. It reduces Paige to a pawn and weaponizes her image to continue a personal vendetta against Caitlin Clark.
Two things. I think it has to show up in our storytelling, and it has to be encouraged by our families.
Yeah.
To me, right? And so covering the WNBA this past season, Caitlin Clark's rookie year, for all of the conversation that surrounded her, some which was fair and some which wasn't, the one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her. Little girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well,
and let's talk about the uncomfortable truth behind that comparison. Paige Bueckers is viewed as safe by the WNBA old guard. She checks the ideological boxes. She's politically active, vocal about social causes, and aligned with the same narratives that the league's gatekeepers champion. She's embraced the activist athlete identity that many of the league's legacy players see as essential. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, doesn't play that game. She isn't loud about politics. She doesn't campaign for attention. She doesn't push social narratives. She plays basketball, period. And that silence, that refusal to bend, that independence, that's what makes her a threat. She's not part of the club. She didn't audition for approval from the legacy players or the media. She didn't tailor her personality to fit the acceptable mold. She just came in and dominated. She let her game do the talking. And for some people, that's infuriating because it means the spotlight moved without them controlling the switch. So what does someone like Swoopes do when she sees the league shift around someone she can't control?
The reason that Caitlin Clark is getting all of this attention is because she is an anomaly. She is a phenomenal player. And Paige Bueckers is also a phenomenal player, but it just isn't the same. She doesn't do the same things. She doesn't do the things that have never been seen.
She scrambles to redirect the spotlight. She uses someone like Paige as a counterpoint, and she gaslights the fans in the process. She wants us to believe she's being supportive. She wants us to ignore her history of digs, dismissals, and blatant disrespect. She wants us to pretend this is about celebrating talent when really it's about suppressing the one talent who broke the mold. Let's not forget Swoopes once questioned whether Clark's records were even legitimate because of how many games she played and how many shots she took. She implied that Clark had been handed her success, ignoring the thousands of hours Caitlin spent grinding in the gym, developing a Steph Curry-like range, and leading her team through historic performances.
Angel Reese is never going to improve her basketball skills. Check this out.
I see you miss layups just like they do and everything, but forget them. You know, I mean, I miss layups too. So, I mean,
everybody miss layups, but they can't get mad if I get the rebound. Box me out.
Yeah. Don't be mad because your fade didn't box her out. That's what I say. Period.
I see your miss layups like they do, but forget them. What the fuck do you mean forget them? This is why Angel Reese's game is never going to get better, y'all. Her mom telling her this and her fans are the same exact way. Zero accountability, bro. Imagine this, y'all. You playing basketball in front of the whole world. People have been constantly criticizing your game and you messing up on the court. There's all this film and everything about what you need to do better and what you're messing up on. And your mom is just sitting here telling you, well, forget them. Just forget them, bro. Like, that's terrible advice. Like we see why Angel Reese is the way that she is. Man, look at how her mom is just talking to her, telling her just forget them, bro. But then y'all are so mad that the world doesn't like her and talk so much shit about her, bro. Right.
And then she's like, oh, everybody misses layups. I'm so tired of this everybody misses layups thing. Yes. A whole bunch of basketball players miss layups, but people are not missing layups like Angel Reese, bro.
Fact.
Statistically the worst finisher in the league. So that means you're last and at the bottom. So that means you're the worst and nobody is missing like you are. God, this is not rocket science. Angel Reese GPA holders, bro. This is not rocket science, man. This is amazing. Y'all just cannot keep it real with this girl, bro. That's why she looks like an unrivaled. That clip that just came out with her getting blocked by Breanna Stewart like 3 times or something, and then she finally made the shot, bro. That's why her game looks like it is not even improved at all, man. And then the whole, you gotta box me out to get the, bro, you should be making the shot, bro. Instead of sitting up here talking about, oh, people aren't boxing you out and all of this bullshit. Like, if you make the shot, bro, we wouldn't be even sitting up here talking about these whole rebounds and over and that bullshit, man. But it's crazy, bro. It's crazy I came across that clip. I just saw somebody post it today, and I'm like, damn, bro. No wonder this girl does not take accountability.
Caitlin's rise wasn't gifted, it was earned. And that's exactly why it rattles people like Swoopes. Because Clark didn't play politics. She didn't push narratives. She didn't ask permission. She came in as an outsider and took over a league that's been guarded like a private club. And let's talk about the bigger picture. This isn't just a Clark versus Swoopes issue. This is about how the WNBA treats players who don't fit its preferred identity profile. The moment Clark entered the league, she was targeted, physically on the court and verbally off of it. And every time the narrative of rookie hazing or rough play was questioned, the same voices pushed back. That's just how the game's played. Really, because Clark wasn't the only rookie on the floor, but she was the only one consistently hit, shoved, fouled hard, and called soft for reacting. She was the only one consistently asked to justify her presence. The only one whose fans were labeled racist for defending her. That's not competition, that's narrative control. And when Swoopes rocks a Paige Bucher shirt, she's trying to rewrite that narrative. She's saying, look, I'm not bitter, I just prefer this player. But the subtext is clear. Caitlin, sit down. You're not our kind of star. It's a stunt, it's a distraction, and it's transparent. Because no matter how many t-shirts Swoopes wears or how many podcasts she grins through, Caitlin Clark's impact can't be erased. She's filling arenas. She's breaking records. She's bringing in millions of new fans. She's rewriting history without their help. And that's what they can't handle. And fans, they're not fooled. They don't want the t-shirt politics. They want to watch greatness unfold. And they're showing up every game to do just that.
It almost felt like marketers were trying to figure out, like, yeah, we have all of these amazing players and these amazing personalities, but can we push the demographic? And then when Caitlin Clark got to the league, the Angel Reeses got to the league, and they might have been fouled hard. The same thing I saw happen with Shamika Holsclaw, though.
You see my tooth knocked out?
Yeah,
Rookie season, Jewel Lloyd. My tooth knocked out. I still didn't get it.
So how do you?
It's cool.
T-Clark, how do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden it was, oh, it's too physical. Oh, they're going at them because they're stars. What was your reaction to some of the new viewers and fans to the game thinking that the WNBA was too rough?
It was a crazy season because we have never had so much momentum behind our league, so much support, demand, viewership, all that, accessibility. But the craziness that came with the new fandom was rooted in something other than fandom, right? And I think that's very evident to see across the board. In a lot of ways, it has not been about basketball. Like, we can talk about, you know, people getting fouled. I just showed you my tooth getting knocked out. Like, that's been a part of the game. The game has always been physical. I can tell you the amount of times I've left with bloody lips and eyes. I have bruises all over my body, even from the game last night. You can see bruises on my elbow from last night. Like, it's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting. There was no nothing.
Right.
That narrative that got spun into, oh, the vets hate the rookies hate the vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit. Like, if I'm just gonna be frank, it's all bullshit. What it is racism, right? It gets blown up into, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing one of the best players that's in this league the way that any other best player, franchise player is gonna get played. Watch how Stewie gets played, watch how Asia gets played, watch how Arike gets played, watch how Khalid gets played. Go down the list of franchise players for every team. They be getting fucked up every game. It don't matter what position you are, what color you are, what school you came out of. This is how we feed our families. Our job is to go and win. And if we don't win, what happens? We get fired. We lose our jobs.
So here we are, again. Another calculated jab from Sheryl Swoopes. Another attempt to discredit Caitlin Clark without actually saying her name. But no matter how many subtle digs, backhanded compliments, or symbolic t-shirts she throws out, the truth remains unshakable. Caitlin Clark is the real deal. She's not just playing the game, she's changing it. And that scares people who thought they'd always have control over the spotlight. What Swoopes and others fail to realize is that this isn't a moment, it's a movement. Clark has inspired an entire generation of fans, from little girls in the Midwest to longtime basketball lovers who finally have a reason to watch again. She's redefined what it means to be a superstar in the WNBA, not by following the script, but by writing her own. While the old guard clings to relevance through petty shade and podcast jabs, Caitlin Clark just keeps showing up, lacing up, and lighting up the scoreboard. She doesn't need their approval. She doesn't need their handshakes. She's building her own legacy, one record-breaking performance at a time. So let them talk, let them posture, let them play the same tired game. Because while they're busy trying to protect the past, Caitlin Clark is building the future, and she's doing it with grace, grit, and greatness they'll never be able to deny. And to the fans who see through the noise and stand with Caitlin, drop a CC100 in the comments. Let's drown out the hate with truth, pride, and support for a player who's not just carrying a franchise, but carrying the league to new heights. This is Caitlin Clark's era, and it's only just begun.